Marjorie Greene is not at all happy, probably in general, but today we're gonna focus on the fact that she's angry about Steve Bannon having been ordered to show up to prison on July 1st. Now, he's expected to appeal that verdict, and we're gonna get to that and see how likely that is to change the outcome. But here is what Greene had to say about Steve Bannon going to prison as a result of willfully defying a congressional subpoena. She said, Steve Bannon is being sent to prison July 1st for a bogus contempt of Congress charge from Nancy Pelosi's fake January 6th committee that was set up against House rules. Again, just throwing adjectives on everything that you don't like doesn't make it more true, Marjorie. I'm glad that you were able to look up and learn words like fake and bogus, but that's not actually an argument when you throw them in places they're not supposed to be. She says, I have been begging, pleading, and practically yelling at my Republican House colleagues, I buy that last part, to do something to stop the weaponized government. I swear, Democrats would gun down patriotic Americans in the streets and Republicans would just write a strongly worded letter condemning it. It makes me sick. And then blah, 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 something about powdered wigs. Okay, so look, she's not happy about Steve Bannon. Look, Steve Bannon was told that he had to show up. He knew the potential legal consequences. He made a choice, a conscious choice. No, I'm gonna look tough. I'm gonna say on my podcast, I won't show up and they can lock me up if they want to. Well, now they want to. So you got to boast and you got the cred or whatever with your conspiracist audience. Well, now you have to do the time for the cred that you gathered for yourself. And so her acting all like shocked that this is the outcome, it was objectively supposed to be the outcome. Now, rich, powerful people sometimes evade justice, but this was the consequence for what he did. I'm more interested, Brett, and I'm curious what you think about her bizarre attempt to pitch Democrats who they say don't like guns enough as the ones that want to gun down patriotic America. Like, I don't even know, it's disconnected anything. Look at the people who are actually taking guns to protest and killing people. You have Kyle Rittenhouse, you have the guy in Texas. There is a pattern to this. And it's also weird that it's like she's trying to take the thing that is being thrown in Trump's face that he said about shooting people on Fifth Avenue and there being no consequences. And she loves that about him. And now she's trying to apply it to the Democrats. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the damage report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you.
Right.
What do you make of this?
And yeah, I mean, in my previous experience with Marjorie Taylor Greene, if anyone says that they have a gun and like it or are going to use it, she likes that person.
Yes.
That's it. It's weird. And it's like, oh my God, don't give me this stuff. Like Democrats have turned our federal government into everything our founding fathers warned us about. It's like, dude, the founding fathers wrote a lot of stuff in the Constitution about the peaceful transfer of power, and Donald Trump does not respect any of it. Do you think that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump have even any working understanding of the Constitution? She's been called out. Go to TYT Investigate. You'll see video after video where it's very obvious that she doesn't know how America works at all.
Yes.
And she's gonna pretend to be the absolute authority on it. There's no way. And it doesn't pass the smell test. And when these guys go like, oh my God, Brad, don't throw me in the briar patch of prison. It's like, no, you absolutely 100% want to go there. Mm-hmm. That's why you didn't show up. You don't have confidence in your ability to sit before a committee and actually win that argument. And so you hid. And now you go to prison because you think that prison is something you have a better shot of appealing to your viewers with than sitting before Nancy Pelosi because you're a scaredy.
Yeah, 100%. Let's move to we'll get to Bannon. But as we said, he isn't necessarily gonna go to prison. He probably will, but he can appeal. That is his right. And we do still have a system where he can exercise that right. That said, I wanna move to CNN's legal analyst to see how likely it is that that appeal can change the outcome.
And Ellie, Steve Bannon is threatening to essentially try to go to the Supreme Court here with this to try to either get the DC Court of Appeals to the district court to weigh on this or go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court did not get involved when Peter Navarro asked for that help. What do you expect them to do here?
They're not going to touch this, and Steve Bannon will be in prison, I believe, as of July 1st. He's just about out of options here. Now, the reason he's been out, he got sentenced to 4 months. He was given what's called bail pending appeal. And by the way, stash that term away because Donald Trump will be asking for bail pending appeal after he's sentenced in July. And that means what it sounds like. You get to stay out of prison until your appeal's over. But to get that, you have to show that you have a substantial likelihood, potentially, of winning your appeal. Well, Bannon's lost his appeal now, so he's down to the Hail Marys. He can ask the entire DC Circuit to rehear the case. They almost never do that. I don't think they're going to do it here. He can go to the Supreme Court. I don't think they're taking it, and then he's got to surrender.
So that was interesting, not just for the read about the likelihood that the appeal will work, but also because he seemed to be indicating that he thinks that Trump will get jail time there. If he thinks that it's likely that Trump will have to ask for bail pending appeal, I mean, maybe so that he doesn't have to pay a larger fine or something like that for the time being, but that would seem to only be relevant when it comes to maybe parole, I guess. He theoretically has to travel around the entire country and all that, but certainly for the jail time. So, Brett, what do you make of that? How do you think it's probation?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think that Steve Bannon had every opportunity to like do the thing you're supposed to do, and he did. And I just don't, in any way, shape, or form, believe that like Steve Bannon could have, in his own estimation, performed well in a congressional hearing, and so he kind of hid. He had every opportunity to come up with a better strategy than what Peter Navarro did, and he just didn't do it. And he doesn't have a case, and they don't have anything that they can share. So they think their best job or their best opportunity is to essentially like play the victim, flop and take a charge and pretend that they're being triumphant in some way, when really all they're doing is telling us that like, I cannot win.
Yeah.
I'm a loser, so feel bad for me. That's their whole argument.
Yeah, or everything that I do, all of the openly illegal stuff that I do, the Democrats will probably back down and do nothing. But if they actually have a backbone and do something, then I get to spin that as that we're the victims of a dictatorship that we are in the process of trying to set up. And it's so obvious, it's so see-through. The only way that it can work is that their audience both likes it. They don't care that it's a lie. They don't care that it's hypocrisy. They don't support Steve Bannon because they think he didn't actually break the law. They want him to break the law. They want Trump to break the law. They don't respect the law. They don't respect the system. They want him to break it. They don't actually think he's innocent of all of this stuff. They like that he's brazen and commits crimes. And so it puts the Democrats in a really tough spot, unfortunately. Not that the Republican elites and politicians and media figures are like that, but that the base is okay with all of this, that they've been so cowed, so brainwashed, beaten into submission by right-wing media over the last few decades that they think all of this is great and they want more of it. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.